Welcome back to the YouTube channel, and in today's video it's going to be the same exact haircutting system that I use on all of my haircuts, whether it's a fade, whether it's a taper, whether the hair is curly, whether the hair is straight. And we're going to do a pretty simple scissor trim on the top. We're going to go ahead and jump straight into that. Very simple, scissor over comb for the top, just making sure that we even out the hair a little bit. He doesn't need anything too complicated for the style. And if you have any questions or comments about the haircutting system as we work through it, let me know. I respond to every single comment in the comment section down below. So like I was saying, guys, it's very simple to do this type of trim. The best way that I can explain it, literally lift up the hair and you find out basically at the point where you want it. And you go ahead and make your slice right there. And now you're going to pick up that same section of hair and just comb a little bit further back, slice again to match the next layer of hair to that. And then you just do that over and over and over again as you get closer to the root of the hair, like the crown. So essentially, it's a pretty simple way to do these kid styles without having to make them have the patience for you sectioning out their hair. It's just a little hack I have, Let me know down below your thoughts about that. Now, if you guys know my hair fading system, right, like I said, it's universal all the way across. And when I need bulk to be removed, a lot of times I like to go in here with the number 4 guard. And I could use this number 4 guard pretty much to maintain. No, it's going to do multiple things. I can establish the shape of the hair that I want, and I think that's more important than anything, right? Obviously, a crispy line, a blurry fade, all that's important. But what does the shape of the hair look like as it continues to grow out? That's why I like to use this number 4 guard, with pressure at the very bottom, and I float my way up and off the head. So what makes this easier is literally using his head, the shape of his head, as a ramp that I launch this clipper up and off of, right? Take a look here as I'm in the back, right? I'm pressure at the bottom and I float my way up and off the head. So I'm literally like, this is the easiest way to be able to do multiple things. You can debulk and you can create the shape, And if you use a nice soft touch, you see how that clipper is just rocking up and off the head all the way around the ridge? That's the easiest way, guys, to be able to debulk and really just make it easier for yourself. You are setting yourself up for success for this next step, right? Everything starts with the shape. You can see that nice, clean slope coming up, and even going down with the grain. After you establish the shape, you can go up with the grain, or you can come down with the grain also, just to keep helping you establish that shape, get it looking right. So let me know your thoughts down below on this. Do you think that, what's more important, the shape of the hair or how blurry the fade is? I think they're both important, but man, a blurry fade is not that great if the shape of the head is all off. So guys, also here with this fading system, if you've watched any of my other videos, you already know that the most important thing, in my opinion, when it comes to fading is starting your fade, starting the bald with the clipper all the way closed. So many YouTubers are going to tell you to set this bald line in with the trimmer. And I totally understand why they say that. It does give you a very precise line. It does give you a nice sharp bald line. But what I found is that following that advice actually slowed me down. There was many years where I was struggling with efficiency, and I found that I would always mess up and push the fade way too high because I was messing up in trying to remove the bald line. So everything I do is for a reason, and we're going to be able to watch this come together in real time. I highly advise that you guys start your bald line with the clipper closed. It's still mentally going to be able to be like in your brain, like, hey, this is the bald line, but it's going to be so much easier to fade out as we continue through these steps. Just trust me on this. Let's watch it come together live. And it's the same reason why I like to do the secondary guideline here with the half guard all the way closed. So YouTubers also were going to tell you, start this secondary guideline with no guard at all. I want you to blade open, and make that line parallel. And that's also not bad information, but again, you're going to be able to see in real time how, doing this with the half guard all the way closed, it's going to make it so much easier and quicker to fade out. The best way that I could put it, the best way I can explain it, guys, is, it's easier to fade from plastic to plastic. It's easier to fade from guard to guard than it is from guard to blade. You're setting this primary guideline and this secondary guideline now, but what happens as this fade comes together, as we start to fade down, we're going to have to fade it down, and honestly, it's so much easier to erase this line with the half guard itself. So now, if you've seen my other videos and you already follow my fading system, you already knew what was coming, right? But just in case if you're new and you're not familiar with the system, the next step that I like to do is take this 1.5 guard with the lever all the way open, and I'm gonna float my way up into the area that I was using my number 4 guard in. Now, I love using the number 1.5 guard starting open and then closing, because that 1.5 length, the majority of the time, more often than not, is the guard length where you can start playing with the gradients. You saw how the number 4 was right, it trimmed the hair, it was great for shaping it up, but at the same time it maintained full darkness. Now the 1.5 guard open does maintain darkness. Look, you can see here it's trimming the hair, but it's staying dark. But now once I start to close the lever, I go about halfway closed and all the way closed, now the gradient starts to lighten up, and I can really start playing with these different levels of darkness, these different levels of shade. So I hope that makes sense to you guys, like that this number 1.5 open, when you use the right hand motion, it should be able to float perfectly up into and through that number 4 length that you set in. And then we can start to lighten up the hair a little bit by closing that lever, the 1.5 guard closed. You know, so let me know in the comments down below if this makes sense. Let me know in the comments down below if you've ever tried skipping guards before, if you found success with it. I'm really interested to know, you know, what your experience has been. It's changed everything for me, and that's why I teach it now. Because look, here again is another example of skipping the guards. You remember how we set the secondary guideline in with the half guard all the way closed? And you remember how I was saying how that it's so much easier to fade from guard to guard than it is to fade from guard to blade? Well, this is exactly why. I'm gonna take my half guard now. I'm not even touching the 1, if you notice that. I got the half all the way open, and I'm gonna float my way up into what I was doing with the 1.5 guard. Now, you know, you may be wondering, why does this make sense? How does it work? If you think about it, guys, the 1.5 guard closed is equivalent to a 1 guard open. Then the half guard, when it's all the way open, it's equivalent to that same 1 guard closed. So if you use the right hand motions, it can actually reach up into that 1.5 length, right? And now you're maintaining efficiency because you're not having to switch, you know, to use a whole extra guard, right? Like I said, guys, this blending method works. I use it on curly hair. I use it on straight hair. I use it on tapers and fades and mohawks and burst fades, all that, guys. And I highly recommend that you try it, man, if you've been in the search for something that helps your efficiency. All of the guys in my Tomb 45 shop who use it right now, they are super fans of it. There's been a lot of feedback in the comment section down below that people who have implemented this system, you know, it's worked for them and it's helped them. They say that they notice the results immediately. You know, I really think, man, that doing it this way, starting with the clipper close for your bald line instead of the trimmer, I think that just makes a world of a difference. But anyway, guys, I want to know what your thoughts are on this. Like I said, let me know how your fading system differs from what I do. And for those of you guys who not only want to use my hair cutting system, but you also want to use the tools that I use to accomplish all this, however you prefer to shop, whether it's going to be in the tagged products down below, or I'll have Amazon links for you too if you prefer that quick shipping. But these are a really cool pair of clippers, man, to look into, because not only do they have the wireless charging built in, when you buy it from the proper suppliers that I'm going to tag, it comes with the wireless charging pad. But the other thing is too, part of efficiency, guys, is minimizing how often I have to switch guards and switch tools. You know, I remember there was a time, right, like when I was using the walls and back then even the Andis, I would have to have multiple clippers on my station, because once that Andis Master or that Wall Senior got way too hot, I had to put it down and go to my other one, right? A lot of us remember that, right? Having 2 magic clips or having 2 seniors on the station. But the way that this machine has been engineered, the way that this blade has been engineered, it never gets hot. I use it all day, every day. And I do the same thing for my trimmers. And you're going to see here, you know, how well the trimmers hit. I have 1 pair of trimmers. Obviously, you keep backups in your backpack somewhere. But that lives on my station that I use all day, every day as my go-tos. The trimmers are also a single pair that I use for between 10 and 16 heads a day. You know what I mean? So I highly recommend these guys if you're in the market for a quality pair. You know, we can always use the Temu clippers and the Walmart clippers, but if you're in the market for some professional tools that don't get hot and charge wirelessly, these are fire. And I've noticed too, you know, as long as I regularly maintain the oiling, I haven't had a problem with noise either. So it's exciting, man. It's really cool to see this, man. This thing only launched in when was it? February at the EWP event. So now guys, check this out, man. Like, we've already gone through the guard fading. Now all I have to do is come all the way back down to that very first line. Do you remember how we set that line in? We put that line in with the clipper all the way closed. So what am I doing right now? I'm going in there with the clipper all the way closed, and I'm breaking through that line, and I'm gonna open the notch, and I'm gonna go a little bit higher, and then I'm gonna open my notch again, and I'm gonna go a little bit higher, as you can see right here. So I used to have extreme anxiety, like I said, with this bottom bald line. When I would put it in with the trimmer, I would have to do so much back and forth with the trimmer to the clipper to the shaver. How do I get that bald line out? And by the time I finally faded it, my low taper became a sky high taper. Starting with the clipper all the way closed, I do it strategically because, guys, like, you can use the shaver and the trimmer to fully bald it out at the very end, but I want to maintain full control over this blend. So you have to accept, like, in your brain, yes, I am going to push this line higher, but as I get higher, I'm also going to get longer. Right? So I break through the line with the clipper all the way closed. Cool. Now I'm going to go a little bit higher, but I'm not going to do that before I open my notch a little bit longer. So I'll go to the first click, and then I'm going to go ahead and push that line up a good bit. And then I go to the next click, right? That means that the lever is opening and the blade is opening wider, getting longer. Now I can safely push the hair, you know, push that fade line up. And you do this over and over again. Lever open, you know, or you open the lever one notch and you go a little higher, another notch you go higher, another notch you go higher, until you're all the way open. And what does that guard all the way open blend perfectly into? The half guard closed. And that's why we set that secondary guideline with the half guard all the way closed. Now, I think that piece of information alone, once you understand it, once you trust it, once you try it, I think that alone is going to help improve your haircutting skills so much, guys. And like you'll see, after I'm done with this blend and we do the lineup, we're going to be able to bald him out completely at the very bottom, you know, using your trimmer. And if the client wants, they want like that super clean finish, and their skin doesn't get irritated, you can hit them with the shaver. Like, it's totally up to you guys how tight you want to go at the very bottom. It's just easier to work with that blend area from the clipper closed north. So now you guys can see here, like, the blending work essentially is done. Now really all I'm doing is anything that the clipper may not have picked up, you know, you can go through and refine your blend now using these blending shears, right? You could use regular shears and do some point cutting, but again, if I'm talking about efficiency and like what's the easiest way to blend all these different levels of gradients together, the blending shears help so much. I'll have a link down below for some blending shears that can really help you out with this too. And when it comes to these trimmers, guys, now you can see here, look, you see the way that I balled it out at the very bottom and how easily that blends up into the clipper all the way closed. Like, get your lineup done, but you know, when it comes to balding out that very bottom section, guys, like, it blends so easily. It's stress-free being able to go from the trimmer into floating up into that clipper all the way closed length. And if you feel like following up with the shaver, you totally can. And look, here's a perfect example, right? Get that back taper, that trimmer can float right up into that clipper all the way closed, man. So like I said, it's just awesome efficiency. When it comes down to it, guys, I want to show you guys how to do a nice crispy blurry cut, but I want to make it easier on your brain too. And look, this is where it gets fun. If you guys really do want a full in-depth tutorial on how to do these kind of designs and stuff, I don't know if a lot of kids or a lot of people are asking for designs these days, but if you do want a full breakdown on this, let me know and I'll take the time to make the video for it. I just want to make sure that there's an audience for it. You know, last time I did like a freestyle design tutorial, it didn't really hit like that. So if it is something that you guys are interested in and that you want to learn, let me know down below. But yeah, essentially the best way that I could describe doing these kind of stars, man, is, you remember how we used to draw the stars back in the day, like all the lines kind of connecting? I literally like to do that first with the trimmers, kind of literally just like if you're drawing with a pencil, you know, do that very elementary style star, shave out that out, right? You could go ahead and pretty much use your trimmer like an eraser to go ahead and bald out in between those lines, and then you create the outline. Just make sure that all of the lines float together. You know, if you're talking about like the two arms of a star on the left and on the right, you want to make sure that that horizontal outline is nice and even. You want to make sure that the points are very, very deep. You know, like you don't want to have a star with round edges. That kind of kills the whole vibe. You want to make sure that those two lines converge and meet to a very nice, crispy, sharp line. Very, very sharp corner. You know, if you don't do that and you don't commit to it, you may as well have not done the design at all, because it's just not gonna pop. So I highly recommend that. But let me know if you guys want further training on freestyle designs and just this type, you know, this type of stuff. But guys, this is the finished product, man. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for watching and commenting down below your thoughts about this. You know, we're going to be coming back with more content every single week. Every Monday at 9 a.m. I'm going to be dropping a video. And if you guys like to see this kind of stuff, you can catch me on live stream too. You know, if you like to see the behind the scenes, the way that I've been creating content lately, and I find it the easiest way to do it for me personally, in order to stay consistent, is live streaming during the day. And then when I get a chance, you know, in the evening or later on in the week, I sit down, break up the clips, and do the voiceover. So if you guys want to catch the live streams, man, don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video, man. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. I appreciate you guys so much. Let me know what you want to see in the next video down below.